it out on Icebox. The loser will face an elimination
Haydi bakalım maçız.
tomorrow. That's not really where you want to be at right off rip. Your key under threat.
Tek map,
as the timer
best
ticks
of
away.
1,
It is Sentinels
best of
who
1.
will be mounting an attack and clearly
Her
looking to
roundun
isolate
önemi büyük.
Magnum in this
Her
early
roundun
fight.
önemi
Moving towards
çok
this
büyük.
A side, BBL adjusting with a deep B push of their own, and they'll have a lot of information in
kişi
just a
side'dayız.
couple seconds.
This is what we want to see from Sentinels. They get to set that pace. That's always the value of being on that
John
attack
Cutie
side.
Heyecan.
To try and get off to a solid start. But
Çok güzel Magnum, bravo oğlum.
them just taking that initial fight, swinging to make sure they have the advantage early. Narrate.
Çok güzel Yampi be.
A bit of gymnastics to try and get them back into the round.
Helal lan Yampi. 2v1, 3v1, 3v1.
The last man standing to try and face off versus 3. And we mentioned that pistol hit rate for the side of BBL. Well, it's looking pretty good right now.
Çok güzel, çok güzel oldu. Erkenden girdik, vermedik site'e. Bomba da kuramadılar. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Kamerayı aşağı indirsene.
Before he walked through the Viper wall, and that just took it from bad to worse. The spike down, it's not looking great. Zelsis gonna go on the big wrap.
Evet, Zelsis Amerika'da böyle miymiş? Arkadan geleceksin, eli alacaksın ha.
He's gonna have to drop down.
Ha?
Be heard. Levin will have
Tamam.
to be contended with, and even then
Kimse yok orada. Tamam. Orada da kimse yok, göremeyeceksin.
BBL's pistol round locked in as expected.
Sonra
Yeah, he's hoping there was someone left in the open, and well, eventually he will.
Kapatamam.
Levin's gonna win that
Allah
fight anyway.
Allah.
BBL
Chat de bana sus diyor. Ya chat hadi abi ya. Amerika falan.
I will say that the only critique I have of the stage, I know someone in production is probably panicking right now, but it's actually more to do with the MEA. I see someone going red and I panic. Like, and you're in a very, very good spot. I'm off 11.
Hocam Levne yardım gerekebilir.
A few extra orbs.
Buyurun. Buyurun entry.
Yeah, he's out for free, and those rotations.
Buyurun ikinci entry.
Bombayı
kurtulmasaydık keşke de. Olsun. 5v2, 5v1. John Cutie. O ne?
Tamam.
Silah düşürmeseydik keşke ama olsun, güzel.
Nice factor. 11.
Abi Lev'nin pole bu ama Soshi'yi gösteriyorlar.
To get up in their face. I don't know if they'll expect this straight away, but Bang wins the fight anyway, and John QT does as well.
It is a bold play to go for that push, outlaw in hand, up against full shields. I mean, he needed both shots to connect there, and obviously it hasn't worked out. BBL, now it comes down to damage. Players like Sociable and Magnum alive, sure, you could still see them winning this round, but Sociable's been tagged up heavy. And Sentinels are on their way towards him. Nice little angle above the smoke, but dealt with quickly. And again, then we look to Magnum. He's recovered himself a Vandal. Can he find a couple of kills here to put a dent in that Sentinels economy?
4v1.
The thing is, Sentinels are being incredibly methodical. Drone used just to make sure if any surprises were left on the site. He's quite far away. And as you said, with a gun in hand, he isn't that much value in overfacing here. Like minimum of 3 players probably going to be surviving. In the end, it is back.
And look, he's getting aggressive again. Not lost any confidence off that early fight. They've cleared Yumpy, they've cleared Sociable. And that smoke, it's given Levin a little angle to play from. He's good for the first. Not quite able to follow up though. The smoke blocking him out. From that angle, drops down below though.
Çok iyi oğlum Lev.
3v3.
Çok güzel be.
2v2. This round very much up for grabs for BBL despite that double opening from Sentinels.
It's giving me flashbacks to when they managed to beat Fnatic on Abyss a while ago. They're just getting in their faces, super aggressive, super off-kilter, trying to surprise them as much as possible. Even still, though, they've ended in an even scenario. Sentinels have managed to cling on even while leaving a pretty big gap behind them. Zelsis has to be careful. They're about to walk through the
Yapma be.
But he turns at the
Çok iyi
perfect
timingliyorduk oğlum.
That leaves BBL without a lot to work with in this round. Sure, they've got that Guardian that's sounding off towards the B site, but everyone else is on pistols. Levin has got the blade stone to fall back on if they want to invest it here.
He's got the light shields. It seems like it is definitely part of the plan. Maybe hoping that Prophet can do a little bit of damage first before he goes to the start point. It is in play. I feel like Zekan's been quite often in these scenarios, but the shot's not connecting. And while the trade outs with those rifles going well. Eventually, Levin will pick up another, and Magnum with one more. The problem, though, is Levin so low on HP that even with those through...
Plenty to fall back on. This is the round that they need to take it across the line. What was that? John QT thought he could sense a cap, but they were ready and waiting.
Yeah, his spidey senses were maybe a little bit off. But hey, they've been able to recover a lot of these early fights in those mid rounds. Playing towards the A site again, it seems like BBL have adapted. 3 players ready and waiting, and somehow
çok iyi Yampi.
With that, but not for long.
Yampi!
Picking up a double.
Çok iyi killer lan.
While the remaining players
mermi attırmadı ama vermeyin ele. Vermeyin ele. 4 ve 2.
To bring one back, but loses half his HP for it, and
Viper'ı da biliyoruz galiba. Bilmiyor muyuz?
That is a lot of information. Then also just look at the position of Levin. He's back in towards the spawn, just making sure that if they try and pull back and rotate, there's nowhere left to go.
Yeah, just locking it down with that op in a nice passive position. Spike is tapped, it draws Sociable into the open.
Helal.
Fire deep. It's not going to catch now, right? So he gets the jump on Yumpy. 3 more to take down. Levin on his way up to belt. That's a big danger. Narrate seems to have a pretty good idea. I don't know if he heard a step. It certainly seems like he did. He is locked in, trying to clear it out, but the op shot lands for
loaded push.
Levine doğru itmek için yaptık ama gene de oynayacaklar.
Obviously Zek has got the blade storm, so it's not too much damage.
Levin bayağı alan almış orada. Bu iyi bir şey aslında. 3A savunmasıyız. Omen de orada flash için duruyor.
So they can stack this side of the map.
Yeah, they're getting a good flavor profile if you don't know BBL.
Çok iyi, çok iyi, çok iyi. Bravo oğlum. Müthiş hamle, müthiş. Verme buradan.
And just as Sentinels are about to go for that execute, they are pounced upon. Now, the advantage is down to just one player. The Bladestorm already claiming a life, and Sentinels looking to fight their way forward, but they've got so many numbers to clear out. They've got to get through Magnum's Killjoy setup. Already detecting players.
Çok güzel kill. Çık. 3v1 harikasınız lan. Yapma, hiç gerek yok. Canı az, Soşi'nin canı az. Ne? Zelsiz. Zelsiz, o şerefsizler gibi olursan. Buradan bir kill çıkarsana be. Burki. Burki geldi. Çok iyisin lan. Çok iyisin oğlum. Zekan kim ya?
This is what I'm saying. You know, if you haven't seen BBL before, 11 might catch you off guard. This guy has nothing but a W key.
Öldü. I feel like they genuinely tell him, the coach and stuff, just like, press them. If you die, we'll play 4v5. That's fine. But we keep getting aggressive, keep putting pressure on them,
oynamaya mecburlar.
Awkward for them to go for these opening battles, because normally space you'd have for free has already been claimed. Now, for now, at least, it seems like Sentinels are trying to sell this as a bit of a ruse. 2 players currently over on
the lan? O neymiş ama?
It's a huge kill coming in for John QT. That is now Levin gone, and because of that, the B site is open for business.
I mean, it comes off as ironic that the one time he loses that fight is when he's
trying to back off.
He's got to get going forward. On the way back around yellow, he falls. Now Viper's pit comes into play. Like we said, you don't have what you need to clear them out of that pit, really. This becomes an uphill battle. And the lockdown thrown in. Sentinels want this round badly. And they're pushing forward in the pit, too, just for a moment. Celsius was looking for the fight, determining that they're not on the defuse. They're not putting that pressure on. It's not near half. And with the time now running down, you have to think that maybe they'll go for the save. Maybe they'll give up. It's not going to be easy. John QT's locking down that side angle. Doesn't see Sociable, but still, the time is too low. There's too many players to fight back against, and that pit made this round impossible. Great ultimate usage from Sentinels. There's going to be a lot more rounds on the board for BBL by the end of this. And of course, he is keeping up the aggression, looking and walking it down, but the paranoia perfectly timed. He's sent back.
Çok iyi kaçtı.
Been a lot of these early fights. Where is he going?
Çok iyi oğlum, çok iyi.
John QT has been caught over the top.
Çok iyi Profek, bir tane daha helal lan sana. Kelimdir o benim be.
Even a little bit of BM. There's no emotion on his face when he does it either. It's just pure saltiness almost, but for now at least.
It's not just the visuals, he reminds me of Hitman. He's got that calm, cool, collected Agent 47 approach, but There's some anger behind those eyes at times. And a 5v2 they've ended up in. It really does seem like you can delay Levin's aggression with some well-placed utility, with some ults, but you can never stop it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting going into the defensive side. Well, Second literally has to check every single angle just in case that Jet is wandering about.
30 seconds left.
A little bit
of geliyorlar. Oynayacaklar bu arada.
They do have a free A site. So a plant looking fairly
Ami, teşekkür ederim Ami.
Surprised if Jumpy
oynuyorlar lan bayağı.
faces in this scenario. Not really any necessary means to go for a fight and try and give them the potential of getting back into the round, having to try and avoid all of that extra utility. And Zekken on the other side is thinking, okay, I need to get aggressive. I need to get in their face and do something. And they have run out of time. Yeah, the delay actually works out wonderfully. Profek even picking up the operator
son anda kurarmış gibi
putting it to good use. And BBL
yok kapmayız ya abi.
Onto the team of Sentinels, and they wanted to make sure that
biz de böyle abi, biz böyle
can easily get out of control, especially if BBL come in with a victory in the defensive half.
Magnum pişiriyor bir şeyler. Profek çok iyi oğlum.
Magnum taking a risk.
Magnum çık
He
oğlum.
sat inside that orb, eventually backs out. They've got to pick Profek. So there's no need to panic, no need to worry. As you said, that outlaw's so very dangerous towards Snowman. So they're trying to fight in towards Orange. This wraparound from John QT.
Tamam olur Magnum bir kili var orada.
He's only traded out in the rate. The numbers still favoring the defense.
Toshi öldün amına koyayım.
Sociable losing quite a lot of his health. I guess just trying to gain that little bit of extra space.
4 ve 3.
Having that man advantage at least for
Bıçak
now.
geldi. Watch
the
this.
ultimates, they're firmly in their favor. There's not much for Sen to play with other than their win.
Nice oğlum, Sociable! Sociable!
He tanked half of his own HP on a snake bite, and
let's
just wipes the whole team.
No one was watching, Tom. The yellow player was tucked. The players in main were looking the other way. They were both
Amerikalıları kündeye getiren hareket.
You gotta wonder what was going through their heads. Look at that.
Yeah.
Watching the same angle in Zelsa.
First cast of the tournament, so I really appreciate you for that. I'm sure you had to suffer through the volume, so yeah, I appreciate it even more.
Profek 2 kill istiyorum senden. Gelirlerse 2 kill istiyorum senden. Oğlum şunu vurun. Abi çocuğa tezgah kurdular ya. Ya bu Amerikan özgüveni ya. Oğlum bir şekilde şu roundu almamız lazım. Hızlı geldi. Jumpy hızlı geldi. Ayıp değil. Yok çok zor bu round. Çok zor ama doable. Hiçbir şey imkansız değildir. Oh! 3'e 3 bir anda.
This is starting to get a little bit spooky, a little bit scary as they now look to get that defuse. Well, not even halfway actually. They're tapping it to bait them into open combat. Magnum finding one on the trades, but Zelsis standing strong with a quad kill to close out this half and leave them neck and neck.
Okeyim ya.
Zelsis is really impressed so far. Like, every single one of those kills as well, they've been like high impact ones. This is someone who is definitely putting up those numbers when they matter the most. For now, at least, a fairly open B site for them to look to. With Bang, he's now going to realize how far they managed to get, but he can't really look behind this. Just going to...
Oh, Magnum!
Magnum has domed him through the
wall. Çok önemli kill.
It's not a bad start. Levin as well, threading the needle.
Easy kill.
He's caught one looking the other way, and he got there in the end. Clean from Profek.
Allah'ım Sinco moment yaşanıyordu.
Been a little more of a clean fight the Profek had. And Celsius now has to find 5, one up himself.
Sakin. 4 ve 1. Sakin.
This one not looking very likely.
You can pad the stats a little bit.
Çok iyisin oğlum Magnum. Çok iyisin lan sen. Çok önemli. 2 pistol.
With a big advantage, but Sentinels were the ones winning then, as you could see with an even half. Majority of those rifle rounds. They managed to keep the economy modest as well of BBL all the way through. See if they can manage the same here. All classics for that defensive side. Not a round that you're going to imagine that there will be very much damage done by the defenders, but they'll look to use numbers to their advantage. They might not have the weaponry advantage in head-to-heads, but if they peak this together, maybe they can overwhelm them. And already you can see Social under a lot of pressure, but Levin there to help out.
Yeah, he's going diving in.
O ne lan?
He really wanted to pad those stats as much as possible, but instead he's given an outlaw to the other side, which is definitely a dangerous gun to put into the hands of Narrate. This has gone from what would look like a very easy cleanup round to what could be incredibly costly.
Definitely striking fear into the heart of Magnum here in that outlaw chime out on the other side with the half shields, but they're just going to buy time as Profek wraps his way all the way around. It's only a ghost to work with, and those players are already through to the A site. So his flank is going to be a little bit late coming through. Shock dart up top is good. That's Magnum that's tagged. It doesn't really help out with the outlaw fight. The reveal sent up and over. There's the info. Profek knows where to strike and when. Nicely done in the end by BBL. That's some decent damage for
necessary evil for BBL. They are going to be able to take this one over the line. Of course, coming in with a very good purchase for a bonus round. They will still have the credits to buy into the next. So for Sentinels, it's fairly important to win this and win it relatively clean.
Çok iyi, çok iyi entry.
Already going to go the way of
bro oynamak zorunda, bro oynamak zorunda. Buraya ayık ol. Vur onu. Headshot amına koyayım ya. Phantom'ınız. Ya hadi ya. Çok iyi lan. Bir dakika, okey. Trade alın. Nasıl vurdu lan Magnum?
That's a big pick. Numbers advantage now for BBL and they look to group up.
Tek başına. Maksimum bir kill ver. Maksimum bir kill. Trade alınsın. Beraber. Kol kola. Levin senin taşaklarını var ya.
Landing in his cloudburst somehow wins that out for more. This is what
Levin özgüven peak attı.
Both of those fights, but he ends up winning them.
Sakın. Eko verme yok. Yok öyle bir şey. Dikkatli. Çok güzel oğlum. Bravo Profek. 5v4 harika.
Now up against the pistols here should be an easy conversion, and for Sentinels, they've been the ones standing up. Zelsis especially looking across the stage. Both teams have gotten loud, but BBL have been focused on each other, on themselves. Now we've seen Levin sit down. He's letting them know he's getting a little bit loud, a little bit rowdy. But let's hope it doesn't backfire here, because we've already seen one pick for Sentinels. We've seen
dörtler. Beyler 1 dakikamız var.
Those weapons are weaker, but with the numbers advantage, we've already seen what that can do. They're going to push through this smoke together. A drone clearing this out, spotting these players. The paranoia not able to be capitalized on, and Magnum
çok güzel oğlum, son adam. Oğlum
danger
sızdı mı lan?
You just see Zelsis, he's having to check every angle on planet Earth. That one might be free though. Caught planting.
2v1.
Still doesn't have that weapon upgrade just yet. There might be one just a little bit further behind him. There was a death just a bit further back, but I don't think he wants to risk going all the way back to give up the position. And while he's already being swung on the other side, BBL not going to let that go any further, even though there has been damage last year. You'd kind of expect Zekan to be running away with it.
Okay, tam ortalarına sık. Aferin oğlum Zekan.
I remember the pick he found in the 5v2. Outside of that, I think it's all just been Levin in those head-to-head battles.
Operator in hand.
Initiated.
The lockdown should somewhat make
Buyurun,
that null avoid. The dart
bak,
as well.
Nereye?
Closer angles, although Narrate looking to sort of.
Çok güzel killer. Bravo.
The team plays solid though.
Bravo oğlum Magnum. Magnum var ya, ne oynuyor oğlum? Ne diyorsun? Ne diyorsun Soshi, yapacak mı onu? Yapmam diyordun. B'ye git bir de B'ye oynayalım.
Yeah, he stayed up close for this fight.
Çok iyi oğlum Soshi.
From sociable, but you'd expect
çıkma gerek yok. Çıkma.
Bırak takılsın. About him not on that Teho roll and how he can be freed up to take some of these fights, and you can see him running away with this freedom. Zekan fires off, but now they know where he is, and they're not looking to let him get away.
Bakacak o dayanamaz, bakar.
Down low. The operator, even if they do manage to save it, it's 11-6, but BBL are closing in the walls on this man.
Bunu vuralım ya. Para da var. Operatör kalmasın. Tam altın. Magnum tam altın oğlum.
Going to be the nasty surprise. Magnum has slowly been clearing out angles, but he has missed one.
Gördüm. Çok güzel oğlum. Bravo.
Kır
yok ki, Joy yok B'de.
Ya
ki Joy orada da kitchen tutuyor.
All their pennies into this. They're gambling on his blade storm being able to pad the gap, and thus far that hasn't really been the case. Operator on the attack side as well for
çok yer aldık, dönme A'ya.
Saved from the previous round, so a completely different avenue. They're going to have to deal with, and you can see how passively they're currently having to play on the B site.
Oğlum çok free girdi ya. Yampi dönsem mi?
Space being garnered. But also
baksana abi neredeyiz ya? Ay bir de entry de geldi Yampi. Yampi.
Managing to get the opener, but the players haven't rotated yet. They haven't stuck the landing. Zekken is still here with that blade storm, spotting them going for that late move towards the A site, and there isn't a lot of time. They don't expect Bang to be here. And while Sentinels just being that little bit more patient,
beklediler abi. Rotate falan vermediler. Hazırlardı yani.
Has left Levin solo.
15 seconds and an op in hand. They want to take that out of his hands. They want to have it perhaps for themselves. Great shots by Levin. He's surviving still. And the dash updraft gets him out.
Tamam, ölmedi. Çok iyi.
That's got to be the worst spot to save from in the game. And in fact, he's actually thrown the operator away. I think maybe, again, wanting to be that entry point rather than having the op. So he's just I like the fact that BBL as well are going back to just more direct. Like they tried to throw a fake in. I don't think it's really been their style. That though, a nice shot from Zekken, but there's no way out of that. Doesn't have anything that can match the blades.
Again, it's Levin winning that head-to-head.
Gördü.
He spotted John QT. Looking for another and it's Bang up top.
Bir tane kile deşi de geliyor bu arada. Biliyorlar ya, Levni biliyorlar.
But I like that Sentinels are sitting back. They're making that read. Okay, let's leave Celsius to pressure behind, and they will get aggressive. They will make those mistakes. The Cloudburst though buys time. John QT under pressure, and it's Levin to pick him off. Not able to deal with Bang though. Leaving it all into the hands of Yampi, and he knows there could be a player coming up behind him. But the steps now hurt. I think he knows that both are coming from Orange. I think he will have that information just from the sound being made. The reveal goes up. It's actually spotted both of them. That was desperately close. A shock dart bounce off. Bang, sticking it at least a half. Sticking it all the way. Yampi doesn't suspect it, and it will be right under his nose that Sentinels find the defuse. Nobody makes it out of the round alive on the defensive side. An uphill battle forming for BBL, who were previously leading by a lot. They lost Profek immediately. Great pick by Zekken. He's really starting to find his form here. Yeah, them putting him over onto the B site seems to be the change they needed. He's able to at least find them opening. He's been caught on two different angles. He doesn't even realize it. And well, instead, Zelsus has gone down as well. This seems
Çok iyisiniz lan. Bravo lan size.
Sentinels trying to stem the bleeding, but instead they've ended up making it that little bit worse. Narrate at least. We'll be able to find one. Magnum desperately low. Timing here is going to be everything in that fight.
Tamam. 2v1. Çok iyi trade.
Comes down to the man of the moment. He's been having a couple of times, and he will get both. Up above. No realization of that flank coming in, and well, I think knowing maybe there's still a little bit to do. There's not even a reaction from Zekken. He's locked. That was This would definitely be a tough one for BBL to take. You could see that sort of confidence growing with Sentinels. The pause definitely making a difference. I don't know what words were said by Kaplan, but I think I could use them in my day-to-day life as well. Oh, another opening pick. This time it's Narrate taking down Magnum. Flank protection gone. TP comes in from Sociable, joining the team as they look for this A-side control. Viper's pick goes down from Sentinels, but so does Narrate. He's been picked off. This aggression from Levin working wonders. And if they clear this backside in time, they could isolate Bang outside of that pit. He's coming close, and indeed taking him down. An aggressive play by Sociable, and it's worked out. John QT dropping out of heaven. Will deal with Sociable, will deal with Levin. And that's Sentinels back in with the advantage. They have to play against time with the spike up top. It's a decent angle to play if they decide to concede the space to the lockdown for BBL. Need to get to belt quick though. They've got to wrap back around, and it's the exact spot that seemingly will be expected by the opposing side. Viper's pit available, but not really something they could do about this, and they've taken the low angle to just try and defuse. Needs to try and tap away, and unfortunately the shot's not
zehirden şimdi öldü herif ya.
Snakebite does eventually. Those fights so clean, not even a bullet landed. Otherwise that snakebite would have taken him down. And somehow with a stinger in hand, Levin's won that fight. The 140 tag, not enough. I love that he has full shield to the stinger as well, because why would you?
Çok iyi.
That's such an odd fight to go for. Magnum's now found another one. This should not be the way that they get to 12, but maybe even beaten by their own. Sentinels have always been pretty good with the stingers. It's been an America's staple. And now John tries to level things up a little bit, but they're so far back into this round.
Oğlum Eko çaldık lan.
Scurry away.
I mean, that is a surprise, an uppercut when you expected a jab. BBL come through, mixing up the economy. Full shields on a lot of players, stingers on most. Sociable in that late round, playing so aggressive up on top of the generator. And they've even thrown in the Viper's Pit here. A little bit of an overcommittal, to be honest. The round was done, but you can't be too cautious in a round like this. Sentinels having climbed all the way back to a one-round gap.
Paraları var mı? Oo, paraları da yok.
Is what bests them and puts BBL onto map.
Bir tane Phantom'ları var sadece. Onu da vuruyor muyuz? Tutcan ya.
Is to get the orb.
Ne yapıyorlar?
But I think he's
Ne
realized,
oluyor?
okay, I'm not getting in that. I need the kill, and that's exactly what he's found.
Wonderful opening. Levin, a little taste of his own medicine. The aggression that gets this Blade Storm online. Still the weaknesses. Man advantage for Sentinels. Two stingers to work with.
Çok güzel Soshi.
Angle from Sociable. He's been so aggressive. You'll love to see him on this Omen. This is what we talked about.
Tamam, çıktı
Freed him
oradan
up
da.
a little bit to take some more risks. And he is thriving under those conditions. Leaving it to a 4v4. The spike on its way to be. Sociable left here to try to buy a little bit of extra time, a little bit of extra space. But with just a sliver of HP.
Evet ya. Oynayalım şu B'yi.
There will still be another switch up. We saw Zekken over on this B site quite regularly.
Ne oldu oğlum? Nereden gördü Soshi'yi?
Is that Killjoy setup instead? So the contact already made into mid. That's a free kill for Zelsis. Then the alarm bot should give away the game. So now they can pull those rotations in. His goal, just to try and delay as much as possible. Now bear in mind, Hunter's Fury and Lockdown are currently available for this attack inside. They have solid ults to play with.
Magnum.
Right above him. Zels is hiding beneath the bridge.
One gone.
It's given to Rate the pick.
Silahları kötü
now
ya.
down to a 4 versus 2. BBL.
Right here.
Not looking like they'll be
O ne? Zekken. Oha.
Zekken puts the final nail in the coffin. It is 12-11 for Sentinels. 1 round left in regulation. We're going the distance either way. The question is, can Sentinels bring us to overtime?
I would be the second time on the A stream that we've seen it sort of bump lower
Magnum ulti var, Yampi ulti var. Avantajlıyız yani. Onlarda ulti bir tek Narrate'de var.
You should run.
Doing it again though, not as easy when Sentinels are playing that bit more passive, not wanting to get caught out in those aggressive angles and pushed back by this lockdown. BBL.
Yeah, they could have opted to break it with the Hunter's Fury. A lot of the time that is the scissors.
Spike planted.
Hold lan bıçaklara.
The lockdown, but I guess just wanting to have it for the retake instead, maybe cause that extra little bit of disruption. There is the Hunter's Fury already being sent through. Levin up close with that Bucky is ever so dangerous, and they still haven't cleared him from this position just yet. But it's going to be back with a quick turnaround. Magnum still standing, has been able to find one, but he's the only one with a gun in hand. Everybody else struggling that little bit more. So is he. Even still though, again, the Sting is doing work. And now Profek just sitting back passively, not wanting this to happen again.
Abi hadi ya.
But it's Zekken through the wall to kill him off. It might have been a little bit close, but the time not even remotely.
An overtime.
You've trolled. Or your opponent's very good. In this case, I think it might be a little bit of both.
Without a doubt. Yeah, Sentinels, they've locked themselves in. That drone's gone far. Great read by Zelsis. He knows it had to be thrown from up close, and that's an easy pick onto Yampi. He thought he'd cleared all of that A site. No one outside of it, but one had stepped in, and the opening pick goes to Sentinels as a result.
A huge start. They haven't really had an opportunity to be in the lead in this game for, I believe, maybe right at the beginning. They were like 4-4, 4-3, something like that. They managed to have a decent start, but other than that, BBL have been running away with it, at least in the second half. Levin, though, was their main pain point when it came to the defense, having to deal with this man and what has been an incredible performance. 28 kills, but he's definitely going to need a couple more, and they are being very careful of any smoke. The thing is, though, Sociable still plans to try and push this, and I like that. They smoke off the dart, he goes swinging, and that's a spike down.
Güzel.
2-for-1 bargain deal.
3v3.
30 seconds
and now with 30 seconds left, they've been delayed so much, they kind of have to go back.
Yeah, back into Levin. Problem is, BBL have sent players to the other side of the map, expecting that rotation.
Nice. Gördün, üstü de gördün.
Dash out info is good. He spotted at least one. It could be both.
10 saniye. Ondan
push forward through the wall and it doesn't work out for Bang. Zekin barely enough time to get this plant in.
Nice. Nice oğlum. Aferin lan Burak.
To ensure left to play potentially. If this goes to BBL, it's 14-12. It's locked in. It's their dub and Sentinels with elimination on the line again. Another international where they fall down early.
Oynuyor. Çok iyi Magnum, aferin lan sana. Ayık. Bunlar ne yapıyor? Hey gördük, tamam, info var. Oynayalım. Evet smoke, flash. Buranın nice oğlum Profek. Tek başına.
BBL with a chance to close this.
A squad that's long
böyle kill alıp çıkmasın ama.
This will be a step in the right direction.
Çok iyi lan Yampi. Yampi öldü. 2v1. Nice. Bu. Helal lan size.
We didn't know what to expect up against international opposition, but he delivered maybe even better than he does reach.